Great information that Angela Chadbourne put together for us. Also in that packet is a survey. Please take a moment to fill out the survey. That's going to be a big service for us so that we know, one, if we're doing a good job, and two, how we can make the next one even better, because we want to provide ready and relevant information to you. So without further ado, Captain Draeger.
All right, thanks, Master Chief. Thanks, CMC, Angela, for your help setting everything up. Angela, our Ombudsman coordinator. Not here right now. I think Ms. Heidi Bottom, one of our Assembly co-chairs, is on her way. One of our NSAW Ombudsmen could not be here, Ms. Tiffany Williams, and we're in the process of bringing on board an additional Ombudsman for our command. It gives us a little more depth and stuff because folks also work in addition to doing these important volunteer jobs. And as that person gets finalized, we'll definitely introduce you to her. I think everybody's got the agenda today. I wanted to, if you don't mind, I wanted to just take a couple of minutes and talk about the fact that it's Women's History Month. Besides being the son of a very strong woman, 30-year English teacher from small town Ohio, I'm married to a retired naval aviator. My wife retired about 2 years ago. She was a Navy pilot, flew P-3s most of her career, and had command of a Navy training squadron in Whiting Field. So we did about 21 years as dual military. I don't know if you're also in this boat or not.
Was till my husband chose the valiant route, his spouse.
Right. So Jen and I, and I'll get her to one of these meetings when she's not on the road. She's now an airline pilot. She's on her way to LaGuardia right now to start her next trip. But over the course of 21 years of us both being in the Navy, we spent about half of that time apart. Deployed, stationed in different places, and things like that. We kid now that it's good that she travels a lot with her job because we're just sort of used to having those touch and goes and time apart, and that's probably why we're still together. At least that's what we kid about. About half the time apart. She ended up having command, like I said, of a training squadron. So if you're familiar with Pensacola, Whiting Field down there, she was CO of VT2. And during that tour, it was a joint squadron, so she had Air Force instructor pilots, Navy instructor, of course, and even some Marines. And we got to the point of her change of command, and then it was the end of her successful command tour. She was getting ready to leave, and we were at the farewell, and some of the Marines came up and pulled me aside. I'll pause right there. Going back to 21 years of both being in the military, that means sometimes we had back-to-back deployments during our first tour in Jacksonville, Florida. That means sometimes hearing that she was not well treated by some of the men in her squadron at times. Sometimes that she had to work extra hard in order to get a qualification in the airplane. That means that along the way sometimes we were driving up and going to an event and people just assumed that the event was about me when it was really about her. If she were here, she would make sure that I made clear that she was the pilot in the front seater, I was the NFO in the back seater. She's the one who has more combat missions to include over Afghanistan and Iraq. She had a really phenomenal career and she could have kept going. She selected for 06 but decided to go ahead and retire. If you can't tell, I'm pretty proud of her. So back to where I was talking about at that farewell as she's wrapping up her command tour. I had some of these Marines come up to me and say, "Well, sir, we just want to let you know as Marines, we're supposed to be loyal to our CO, but your wife really earned it." So 21 years of spending a lot of time apart, it just kind of all came back. And you think about the fact that putting up with all the crap along the way and pressing through and being what we call trailblazers, it really does make a difference. Those Marines didn't have to do it. That's progress. And that doesn't mean that tomorrow we won't see an example or a bad example. That's progress. And so as we go through this month, I attended one of the observances this morning over at CNIC on the Navy Yard. We're going to do something in our command a little later in the month, and we'll let you know about that. I just wanted to give a shout out to those that are trailblazers out there. And with that, we'll turn it over to our program and get started.
Do you want to introduce?
Sure. All right. So